Hey guys, it's Lord Maliscence back with another video, and today I'm going to be doing a new game I got. It's a flight simulator called Infinite Flight, and in case you're wondering, this is not Infinite Flight right now. This is Infinite Passengers, which is basically an add-on to the game, and you can do a lot of stuff with Infinite Flight. Basically, it's just a flight simulator, but it costs $5. It's probably one of the most popular. I'd say it's probably the most popular mobile flight simulator in the world, because it's very realistic and it's very good. So anyway, we're gonna be trying it out today, and I've already done it multiple times, but so basically, this is an add-on. Infinite Passengers basically allows you to do graded flights. It grades you on your flights, and there are different modes. So let's do airline mode. I already have an account, um, and I already have an airline. So, um, say I'm gonna use this one. It's a pretty good plane. It's a very large plane, and it has a lot of seats. So. Basically the way it works is you start out with a certain amount of money, you buy the plane either used or not, or unused, just brand new, and brand new costs a lot more, but, it's, basically you get the money in this add-on, and when you start out with the money, you have to do flights, and depending on how long they are and how many passengers get on, they have different, like, profits, and so you can get more and more planes, but basically you have to like, when you use them in this, in the game, it makes it so that they have a certain amount of time that you can use them until they're not usable anymore. So you can use them in the game whenever you want, but if you're doing a flight on, like, say, airline mode, it will degrade your plane until it's not going to be able to be used anymore. So it's 20,000 hours in game, which is like, I don't know how many hours it is, but it's a long time. And you won't get any money if you use the wrong plane. So if you use, like, a Boeing 747 when you selected in this app a 7 or like a 787, it won't give you any money. So I just chose the music and the other stuff, so it's gonna be probably an 8-minute journey. And start. I spent overall about $12, I think, on this because I bought this app for. Oops. Okay. I spent $5 on this app, and I also spent $5 on the add-on, which you can get for free, but it's not as good. You don't get, like, a whole lot of. You only have one choice for the music, and I hope it's not too loud. Anyway, uh, then okay, that's a bit loud. Anyway, and then I spent $5 on this. I spent $5 on the add-on, and I also spent oh yeah, it's $13 because I spent $3 on the um cargo mode. So anyway, let's do. Where is it? San Francisco. Um, yeah. Okay, so you calibrate it at the beginning so it will actually, because you use tilt control, so you won't be able to see me controlling it very much besides just these little controls on the side that are changing colors. I'll explain them as I go along. The trim just affects the way the plane flies. The gear is the landing gear. Spoilers are basically, let's see. The spoilers are basically, these things, and they help you land smoother and stuff. So anyway, let's accelerate.
Flight attendant farm doors for departure.
Okay. If you don't have the add-on, they won't say that or anything. It's just, um, that's what they say when, um, you have on like the airline mode or free play or whatever. Okay, space, flight mode, gear is down. It'll tell you flight started. And these little red things that are about to come out, they're basically just general guidelines for where you should be if your plane was right at the end, left the runway at the very end. But for planes that leave the runway at the beginning, almost the beginning, you you don't have to go through any of them, but it's just good to go through a few of them to get a good ascension rate. Notice my speed is on the left of the screen. And it is marked by the little number 225, 224, whatever. The autopilot is controlling that generally for me. The heading is also right now being controlled by the autopilot. It's at 104 over here, and it's also at the very bottom. Like that little circle tells you what my heading is. This is just what I've set it to, 92, and that's basically the setting that I keep it at. I'm gonna stay at about 1,500 feet. And my and the like altitude is on the right column, and the descent or the vertical speed per minute is marked underneath that column. So right now I'm at like -1 or -50, say, between 100 and -100, just to keep kind of stable. I can make the autopilot control it for me. I can even make the autopilot control my altitude in general, and it won't. But the issue is, once you turn the autopilot off to go into land, it gets really hard to control the aircraft because you've like maybe let off a little bit, like maybe slanted down your device a little bit, and it will make your flight get graded badly because you either go down too fast or even you can crash if you don't pay enough attention. So I don't use it to control my vertical speed and altitude and stuff most of the time. The vertical speed is basically how many feet per minute I'm going, as for like how much my altitude is changing every minute. So it's like if I'm at 0, my altitude's not changing at all. Now I've switched off the heading autopilot. The yellow means it's on autopilot, or it's set to something. Like the spoilers are not on autopilot because they don't have an autopilot. They're just on flight mode. Let's turn my speed down to 220. The thing on the right that says power 30 whatever percent, like it's my thruster. Basically, I turn that up to make the engines go more, say, like, to put more power into the engine, so it'll make me go faster, or depending on like how fast I'm going up or down. The vertical speed, if you're going up, your speed is normally going down. If you're going down, your speed goes up. But the autopilot will control the amount of power to the engine, so it stays at a fairly stable rate, which is really helpful. So you don't end up going too fast. Okay, landing is definitely the hardest part. I'm putting down the gear, putting on the brakes. The flaps are at 1%. The spoilers are armed instead of on flight mode. And I'm going to turn my speed down to 215. I'm not going to turn the autopilot completely off until I get into the red boxes for this runway. I barely ever use this plane, so we'll see how it goes. 1,000. That's the thing that voice is what tells me, like, what my altitude is, but not just what my altitude is. Sorry, I kind of messed up there because of the volume. It doesn't just tell me what my altitude is, it tells me. Okay, so lock my heading to the heading of this runway is 144, but it can vary depending on like what kind of general direction you're facing. It's just the general direction you're heading, not the I don't know what you call it. Basically it's the way you're heading, not it's like north, south, east, west, not um just like I won't come into this if I immediately change my heading to 144 after I get through the red boxes. So anyway, that voice tells me how far off the ground I am, not just what my altitude above sea. Oh, dang it! Not what my altitude above sea level is.
100, 50, 40, 20.
Ah!
200, 140.
I'm so mad. Even if you can go back, basically back in time, but there's no changing it once it's like once you can go back in time in the game, but it's like 20 seconds, but it won't do anything to your score in this. It'll just keep it. So I'm gonna pause the video and redo that. Okay, back. I don't know, if you want to skip this, that's fine, but it's very irritating when I did that. If you land too hard, it will do that. And the G-force is at the bottom of the screen, and it's near the little button right here that has the camera, like the video camera thing. Now let's try to do this a little bit smoother. Yeah, but the G-forces, if you exceed 2G or go below... Oh, come on. For some reason it just randomly, the autopilot cuts out in the middle of, like, when I try to get off the runway. I don't know why. Anyway. So, what I was saying was, the G-forces are important, because if you go to 0 gravity or if you go to 2G, it will put your score down a lot compared to like other violations. Say flying too fast below 10,000 feet. I know like for this flight I keep at like 1,500 feet. So the limit I think is about 250 knots, and it's not miles per hour, it's knots. And so it's like that will get you like if you get that and do everything else perfectly, it gets you say 95, I think. But if you get like 0 gravity flight, it brings it down to like 70. It depends on what the passengers are thinking about it, like in airline mode, say, because if you landed really roughly, or if you like went down so fast that it was 0 gravity inside the plane, people are gonna think have a much worse opinion of you than if you just went a little too fast, because they don't even know that you went too fast, because that's like air traffic control sort of stuff. After like I don't know, sometime I'm going to buy the air traffic control thing. Basically, it's a subscription service, but you can like for $5 a month or $50 a year, you can do like online flights or flights with air traffic control. Like you basically have to request everything, and it's much more realistic as far as like commercial airlines go, because you have to like obey what the air traffic control says. And online mode is exactly what it sounds like. this is pretty realistic simulator, but the thing is, they didn't put a whole lot of effort into the train. It's all 2D. You can land on the water. That's one weird thing. Sometimes it's helpful, but it's not realistic. I don't think anybody's arguing that it's realistic. Oops. Didn't mean to bank that. I didn't mean to go down that fast. I'm not gonna bank too far here. Otherwise, it'll get me a bad rating. And, notice the G-forces go down if you... Basically, the way G-forces work is it depends on how quickly you change the vertical speed, not what the vertical speed is. So say I change it from like -1 or to -100, from -100 to like -2000 in 3 seconds. It'll probably bring me down to 0 G because of how fast I'm changing the vertical speed. Not because of how low the vertical speed is. And of course, I must have like calibrated it in the wrong place, because now if I hold my tablet straight, it will like bank to the left, and it's very irritating to me right now. Anyway. I'm gonna try and come in on a good vertical speed, because if I don't, I'm gonna get a very bad grade, because it'll exceed 2 Gs. Let's do 215 okay. I'm gonna try my hardest. A good, like an ideal commercial flight descent speed when you're landing is about -100 to -150, so you don't want to go like -700. This calibration is really wrong, but I can't do anything about it, because if I recalibrate it, which you can do, but it'll basically make me
400.
crash, because it'll make me bank really far forward.
300.
Anyway, let's try this again. Actually, let's go back 20 seconds. Oops, more. Oh, what is it doing? I have no idea what it's... Oh. It's calibrated extremely wrong. Okay, I'm gonna calibrate it like this. Ah! Okay, this plane deserves to crash. I don't even care anymore. I'm not gonna, I'm gonna show you an actual landing. I can land it, it's just... Ah! It's very frustrating. Anyway, short film.
100. 30.
Oops.
20.
I didn't realize the heading was not on. Let's try that again.
100. 50. 40. 20.
I've done it so many times before, I don't know why I can't do it now. I'm not used to landing on this runway either, but...
100.
Why?
100. 50. 40.
No, why are... Okay, that's not... I never come in with flaps at 30%.
50. 30. 20.
Damn it. I don't know. I've done this so many times, but
50. 20.
stop
100.
trying to put my flaps to 30%. It's not good.
30. 10.
Yeah, that's not working out.
100.
Why is it replaying?
100.
No.
100.
I'm just not sure what's wrong with it today.
40. 30.
Or what's
20.
wrong with me
10.
today, for that matter. I'm normally very good at this, but
20. 10.
there you go. That's a decent landing. It's not very good, but better.
100.
I wish it wouldn't start me at 100 feet,
40.
but
30. 10.
it doesn't give me any chance.
100.
No!
50.
It doesn't give me any chance to, like,
100.
figure anything out. I
100.
always keep the
40. 30.
heading to the autopilot when I'm landing. And I also normally keep the
100.
speed to myself, but, like, I can't... Ah!
20.
It always... I'm not used to landing like this at all. I normally... So basically,
100.
I normally land at about 200 knots.
100.
Between 180 and 200.
50.
So, like, it's really confusing me right now because I'm not used to doing this. And I also don't normally have the flaps at 30%, which they're not right now, but
40. 30. 20. 10.
I have a good, some good footage of landing I did once. I've done some good landings before, but
100. 50. 30. 100. 50. 40.
today does not seem to be my lucky day. Anyway,
100. 50.
I'm not sure. Anyway, I guess I'll see you guys later. And I'm just so mad right now, I don't know what to say. Guess I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching, and I'm not sure if you enjoyed watching me fail, but if you enjoyed watching me fail, please like the video, and subscribe, and definitely comment, and look in the description, there's normally something where you can get a shout out or whatever. And also, there are two people I need to give shout outs to. Ultra Plays, and he's one of my friends. In case you were wondering, if you've seen some of my videos, he's Sniper02 from Opticraft, and his channel is spelled ULTRAPLAYZ, and he does a lot of videos on Minecraft PC because he doesn't play Pocket Edition anymore. But anyway, the other person is I don't even know how to say his name, but his IGN from Minecraft Pocket Edition was Wimbledon Luke, and his channel is spelled XIKOPI, and I'll put a link to both of their channels in the description. But anyway, I needed to give them shoutouts because I forgot to give it to them last video, and they deserve it. So anyway, see you guys later. Bye.